for joining us at the third Law and Constitution Dialogue.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the founder of the ITV network, Karthikeya Sharma, also Member of Parliament Rajya Sabha, escorts the Union Law Minister out. Let's prepare for our next session, which is on digital arrests and cybercrime. We have some very interesting panelists in this, including Mrs. Jasinder Sehgal, who's been a victim herself of digital arrest. To put perspective, we have Dr. Muktesh Chandar. He's the former DGP of Goa and a Special Commissioner of Police. We also have Shri Hemant Tiwari, who's DCP IFSO, who is joining us on this conversation, as well as Shri Pawan Duggal, who sits with us very often on television to discuss this. It's become a very ever-present crisis. Could I request Muktesh ji, Pawan ji, and Shri Hemant Tiwari to kindly come on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, we've all been through it. We are all seeing it, these spam scams that are going on. I'm sure you're getting phone calls also. What do we do about them? Let's have this conversation. Our senior news editor, Devika Chopra, is conducting. Devika.
Thank you so much, Rishabh, for that. As Rishabh mentioned, this is, of course, becoming a menace. Day by day, we're hearing more and more reports and cases every day. In fact, while we were reading up on it, we found out that there were 42,000 cases of digital fraud that were reported last year, of which 9.45 crores was recovered. Indians have lost 120 crores in digital arrest frauds in just the first 4 months of this year. And these are all reports that have literally come out today. The Home Minister has presented this data as well. Karnataka, meanwhile, lost 109 crore in just 641 digital arrest cases. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is truly a problem of the hour. What we have to realize is that today more and more people have access to mobile phones, and as many people also have access to the internet, which means that they're easily connected via apps like WhatsApp. And I have with me Jasinder Sehgal ji. She is a 79-year-old woman. Ma'am, am I correct? She's 79 years old. And she was under digital arrest for 5 days. 5 harrowing days. When I was listening to her tale outside, I was extremely shocked and extremely worried for this rising trend. So I will begin by asking Mrs. Sehgal, if you can just explain, ma'am, to our viewers watching and everyone else, perhaps our lawmakers who are also watching, Parliament is on session, maybe this will come up. What exactly happened to you, ma'am? Who called you? What did they say?
Well, a digital arrest is you get this call and they ask you your name, they give you the Aadhaar number, and they ask you to verify it. So which you do. And then they tell you that there is a warrant of arrest for you within 3 hours, and you are involved in child trafficking, you are involved in money laundering, and you're taken aback, you're shocked. You deny it, and you keep on denying it, then it is a public prosecutor or a crime branch.
So you were called, essentially you were called.
I was called.
And you were told that the call is being made by the Enforcement Directorate, the ED.
Absolutely.
And that you were charged with child trafficking. Ma'am, can you explain to our viewers what exactly happened next? What did they tell you?
They told me that you are involved in child trafficking, 400 children, and 400 children, and you have got 3.1 crores in the Chennai bank, money laundered money, and you have 3.5 crores in the RBL bank in Delhi. So I deny it and I say I have no knowledge of any money there. I don't know these people, but I do have an RBL account. So they tell me we have in our custody Mr. Anil Deshmukh, who is the prime witness, and there are 3 others, and they send me photographs on the phone. Just to tell you that when there is a digital arrest, your phone is connected to them all the time. You cannot disconnect. So they send me pictures of these people and they say, we have the evidence, we would like to help you, and because you are 79 years old, if you can clear your name, we will help you. And then from there, I don't want to go into unnecessary detail. There's a prosecutor, yes. There's a Supreme Court judge, and there are various people who scare you, frighten you so much that
Just take a moment, ma'am. See, this is what, viewers, we really have to understand that this is going to be a huge problem if this is not addressed. And you can see the way in which people are being terrorized. There's not a singular pattern. It's from young people to the elderly, but mostly the elderly who are being terrorized, literally, by these cyber criminals. Jacinderji, I'm going to let you gather yourself.
No, I want to tell you that I live alone in a farmhouse. I don't have anybody with me. My children are not living with me. So for me, it was doubly scary.
And they told you that they've surrounded your farmhouse?
Yes, they frightened you. They tell you the ED, the police is outside your house, your telephone is hacked. You cannot, if any call you make, they tell you all kinds of things which you believe. That is the most horrible thing about this thing, is that you believe them completely.
Absolutely. Let me bring in, I'll come to you in just a moment, man. Pawan Dugalji, let me bring you into the conversation. Where exactly are we then failing as far as our systems are concerned? Do we now need to perhaps hold some sort of, or launch campaigns to generate awareness? Because really the prime target in most of the cases, which even I've read, were the elderly.
Clearly, we are at a time when fear and panic have become an integral part of our lives post-COVID-19. And therefore, it's not just her, it can be you, me, anyone. And now the latest trend in these cases is, one of our clients has lost about 6.4 crore rupees thanks to a digital arrest. But the latest flavor they gave was, well, we've got sharpshooters around your entire house.
Yes.
You try to act funny, we will shoot you and your entire family down.
Imagine.
Now, that's the position once you come in. You quickly realize, I have nothing more to do, let me give the entire money and come out. So bottom line is, most of the time, people are forgetting that the empowerment tool lies in their own hand, which is to disconnect the call. Now, let's start understanding basic common sense. No police officer is going to reach out to me in my home or in my office on a video call. No Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of India is going to be on a video call just to call me up and say, look, I'm passing this order against you. Most of the time, people are losing their common sense. Why? Because they are fearful.
Yes.
Somewhere down the line, somewhere, everybody has to hide something in their lives. And they quickly realize, maybe this is the golden moment that's come in where my skeletons are going to come out. So let me try to avoid that and buy peace by actually giving money. They quickly leave aside reason, come up with this. Therefore, capacity building is more important. People need to be told there's nothing known as digital arrest in the Indian law. The law says arrest is a physical phenomenon.
Yes.
You go to physically a person, arrest him physically. However, thanks to this new Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023, which has come from 1st of July 2024, these cyber criminals have been very successful in creating this new narrative, this new myth, that now the new criminal laws have come in. The new criminal laws allow you to be digitally arrested using technology. And if you try acting funny, you will have to face consequences for ED, for the IT Act, for the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Most of the people are able to buy this particular fiction of narrative. Therefore, capacity building has to be your only mantra. People have to be told, mind you, now we have entered into a new cyber world era, where you will have to start inculcating an element of distrust and mistrust in your minds. Let's learn to start suspecting every information that I'm seeing, reading or hearing, till such time I've not independently verified the authenticity or veracity of the same. And the cyber criminal laws, there's nothing known as digital arrest. They know there's no provision under the Information Technology Act, there's no provision under the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. You try coming up with indirect provisions and you land up in the current mess where Indian cybercrime ratio, conviction ratio, is less than 1%. Not any case of digital arrest has even now reached the court of law. Leave aside any conviction.
But Pavanji, do we have the technology or the skilled manpower then that is required to operate our systems in this day and age, where cybercrime is at an all-time high? Do we have the technology to track where those calls are coming from, who's making it, And I'll come to another interesting aspect regarding the banks. But before that, I just want you to address.
Well, we are having some technology, but cyber criminals are today 50 steps ahead of us. And this is thanks to artificial intelligence. Now they're using new programs now like Fraud GPT, whose only
Yes.
job is to let you know how they can commit new kinds of innovative frauds that have not yet been committed in human history. But by and large, I'm finding the gap between the current capacities of the government and the cyber criminals constantly widening. And because cyber criminals are now using technologies like virtual private networks, scrubbing their footprints, ensuring that the electronic footprints are not available, also ensuring that the relevant incriminating electronic evidence is tampered, altered for all times to come so that there can be no conviction in a cybercrime matter. These are all elements which are contributing. Our capacities need to be tremendously enhanced. We've got some brilliant officers, but I think as a nation, we are lagging far behind. And I think we have to make them realize that this is now going to be a constant phenomenon. The golden age
Yes.
of cybercrime has arrived. And this golden age will be with us for the next many decades. So the more quicker we are more prepared to deal with this, the better it is.
And unfortunately, we used to think that it's things like WhatsApp University or fake messages and AI, that will be the doom of society. But truly, this is perhaps one of the bigger problems. Jacinderji, I want to come back to you, ma'am. I want to understand from you. You also mentioned that your bank didn't really extend any help as far as your case was concerned because you were making or you were made to make large transactions in a very small amount of time. Now, why that is peculiar is because someone like me, who perhaps would make a 20 or 30,000 transaction somewhere, I actually promptly get a call from my bank saying that this is an unusually high number, or say 50,000 or maybe 1 lakh. And they give a prompt call that, is this you making this transaction? But how much money was extorted, ma'am? And did your bank really reach out or help?
My bank was sleeping when this happened. I sent 45 lakhs to MYK Enterprises in Solan. I sent 2 crores to a Syed Maz in Bangalore. And I sent OP Malhotra in Solan another 65 lakhs. These transactions were done one after the other. And the bank knows me for the last 12 years. I have never in my life dealt with any such people. I don't know them. They're dubious, suspicious accounts. I mean, they are so suspicious, just their names are suspicious. And the bank did not even stop to scrutinize and see where they were going, what was the KIC, why was I sending. I did not get any call from the Ratnakar Bank Limited, RBL, till I collapsed, and my daughter was informed in Cape Town, and she called the bank. And they said, oh, has that happened? Then she has been scammed. I mean, this is no bigger letdown than that from a bank where I have a relationship manager who knows everything about me, and there were no checks, no balances, no signals, why this money was going out. I had left the mandatory form. In that RTGS form, there was a mandatory column which said purpose of remittance. I had not put in the purpose of remittance. Then how were they sending this money? It could have been for money laundering, it could have been for anti-criminal activities, anything. I have been let down very badly by the RBL Bank, and they now don't even want to talk to me. They're saying it's your fault, you did it, we are not responsible.
Hemant Tiwari ji, sir, you actually took out some details of ma'am's case before you came here. How does then one deal with the bank in the system? Because like I said, most of us do get prompt messages or calls from our bank the moment they suspect some suspicious activity. The reason why I'm asking that is, does this somewhere then tell us that there are moles within the larger system? Are there people who are leaking information? Are there people, because it's a very well thought out plan, right? You know that a Jacinder Sehgal lives alone in a farmhouse. You probably know that she doesn't have her children with her. So clearly the targets are very specific. But how is this information really even reaching these cyber criminals? Do we need to have a larger conversation about the entire system?
We have been dealing with such cases for about a year. The digital arrest first case, I think, came to our notice somewhere in March. So it is around 8-9 months. And as per around 40 cases we are investigating. There is nothing to say that victims are well researched and targeted.
Okay.
You must understand that the scamster, they are kind of running an industry where their job is to call anyone and everyone whose number they have. Number goes through various channels because the data security protocol are very weak. If we are going for shopping or anywhere, we are easily giving our number. We are doing some transaction. Let's suppose we went to some shop, purchased something, we gave our number and we did a card transaction.
Yes.
So these three details came to them, that particular shop or restaurant, and from there it get leaks. So they randomly call everyone, they send the email to everyone, which all emails they have, which all numbers they have. Now who are the target? Number one, those who pick up the call, they become susceptible. And second, after picking up the call, mostly these calls are IVR generated, where some computer voice will say that we are calling from TRAI and there is an important notification about your number. For further detail, press 9. Or we are calling from Mumbai Cybercrime or Customs or DHFL or some courier company, there is an important notification, you press 9. If we are aware that we have nothing to do with these people, we should not go for any further conversation and we should cut the call short. But still if we goes, then we become further more susceptible.
Yes.
Those scamster does not have much of our information. Actually, they might have our number, our name, at max Aadhaar number if we have shared it somewhere. From there, they start talking to us and they extract all the information and most of the information from the victim itself. And then, after extracting the victim, first they try to threaten the victim like anything on one pretext or other. And secondly, they take the information about the near and dear one, like if ma'am is there, their sons, daughters, sisters, brothers, and they try to find out what they are doing. Let's suppose a call like this comes to some rickshaw puller or not so well-to-do person. So as soon as the scamster realizes that this person is not capable of extracting money, they themselves will cut the phone and they will go to the another victim or another call. So once they realize that this is the potential customer for them or potential victim for us and they can extract money, then they start threatening. Sometimes they threaten for themselves, but most of the time they threaten for their near and dear one. Because if someone is coming to arrest me, I may face it. Okay. If someone is coming to arrest me, she can think, okay, I will face it. If I have done something wrong, I will face it. But they will threaten you like your son, which you yourself have told that he is working in US or he is working in Merchant Navy. So they will threaten, yes, your son is there, and if you are not cooperating with us, so the particular police will come and arrest the son. So they try to put you under pressure for your near and dear one, and then they extract the money.
Okay.
And then it comes to bank parts, how the banks are involved.
Yes, I'll come to that in just a moment, but I want to bring in Dr. Muktesh Chandar into the conversation as well. Dr. Chandar, Jacinderji, what was the total amount that was extorted?
3 crores 10 lakhs.
3 crores 10 lakhs. That's not a lousy sum of money that one can just forget. And I want everyone to remember that. But Dr. Muktesh Chandar, I want to understand from you. There's a very important and necessary digital India movement that is on right now. These are some of the drawbacks of what happens when we have more and more access to the internet. But how do we solve or perhaps come up with a solution for the problem of digital arrests without hindering people's faith and confidence in digitalization?
First of all, let us understand that there is nothing digital in digital arrest. This whole concept is wrong. It is pure extortion. No cyber means are used. It's a call. You are threatened to such an extent that you lose your balance of mind. It is called hacking of human mind. So they know that this is the way you can be threatened, and then you only transfer the money to their accounts, like in the name of Reserve Bank of India or somebody. The problem is that at that time, as Dr. Dugal was mentioning, awareness. There is no such thing called digital arrest. Then and there the thing should stop. Suppose they are saying deposit the money in this account. These accounts are of the firms, not Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank doesn't seize money like this. No police officer seizes it like this. So these telltale signs are from the very beginning available. The problem is that the legal awareness or the basic awareness about the rights, your rights are not there. And at that time, I have seen victims where they put you in such a threat as if a gun is on your head and you
Yes.
lose your sense of mind. The simplest solution is to cut the phone. And another thing I want to tell you is very important here, which probably is missing in most of the conversations I'm seeing this. Why is that an educated person, legally aware person, or an IT-savvy person gets threatened because of, in the name of CBI, or in the name of ED, or in the name of crime branch, Mumbai police or Delhi police or whatever, is that perhaps there is some kind of fear about these agencies also in the minds of the people. That suppose you have not done anything wrong, there is no narcotics, you have not done any child trafficking. Why should you worry? You should have this confidence as a citizen of India and faith in the criminal justice system
Yes.
that if I have not done anything wrong, nothing is going to happen. But that fear is there of these agencies. So how do we generate that kind of confidence? That lies on everyone in the system.
Yes, I completely understand your point, and everyone thinks about this, that why is it that educated people are also falling for this? But as Jacinderji pointed out, a lot of times you are threatened, literally you're told we've surrounded your house. So even if you know that this is something that's criminal, that's happening with me, what will you do? Because you can't really verify the veracity. Pawan Dugal, you have 30 seconds, sir. Unfortunately, you have to wrap up. But I want to understand from you, does this then call for some sort of an emergency mechanism to be put into our phones? Like we have an SOS button, or we have numbers like 112, etc.
112 is there. There is no need for any other number.
No, but since you can't call, you can't cut the call because there's a fear that's placed in you that you'll be shot or that we'll come into your home. So what is it that we need to do? Some sort of SOS mechanism needs to be introduced. What would you suggest?
I would suggest some kind of a mechanism, but ultimately focus back on awareness and ultimately
Yes.
make banks responsible. At the end of the day, money is going via my bank account into somebody else's bank account. Bankers cannot say, hold on, I have done nothing, you are responsible, you go to the cleaners. Sorry, you are an intermediary under the Information Technology Act. You are mandated to exercise due diligence. You've not done that. Under the IT rules of 6th of July or 6th of April 2023, you are now mandated to even ensure that your users go ahead and do not violate the provisions of the law. And at the same time, we have nothing as far as the Reserve Bank of India is concerned on norms for these bank accounts, for the purposes of grading bank accounts. Ultimately, most of this digital arrest money is going into Indian bank accounts located within India. So the
Yes.
banks can be made responsible, accountable. Let them get the monies out of their kitty to the affected victim. That could be a good starting point going forward. We could see a massive diminishing of these so-called returns from cyber arrest. But ultimately, till such time that happens, that's onus is on the government, onus is on Reserve Bank of India. But right now, the focus is on us. Let's learn to protect ourselves. We are at the center of the digital Kurukshetra. We are going to be attacked on a 360-degree view. Let's come and try adopting cybersecurity as a way of life, cyber prudence and cyber hygiene to guide us.
That's an excellent
Let me
thought.
add here that there is a 112 app available. You can, while you are under digital arrest, so-called digital arrest, you can still invoke that 112 app and the police will know your coordinates and they will come to assist you.
That's an excellent thought, and hopefully it's been educative for the people.
That is what I'm saying. 112
this is
app
what
will
he's
still
addressed.
work while you are connected to a Skype call or a WhatsApp call. 112 will still work.
Okay, Jacinderji, 30 seconds, ma'am, for you to conclude the conversation.
Yeah, after having gone through this experience, I think the banks are the only ones who can stop this because they know very well that customers don't send out money in 50 lakhs, 70 lakhs and crores in 3 days. It is for the bank to stop these scamsters. And I don't think there's any better solution
We are
than
missing
that.
the KYC norms of mobile phones also, KYC norms
Yeah,
of data
yeah.
and KYC norms of these current accounts.
Absolutely.
They are not individual accounts. They are in current accounts where large money transaction can take place without suspicion.
Yeah.
Some excellent points there raised by all of our panelists. Once again, we're extremely grateful to you for taking out your time to join us at the third Law and Constitution Dialogue. A very pertinent conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a huge round of applause.
I also had the call from DHL couriers calling some scandal. I don't know how these guys get their phone numbers sorted, how they get bank accounts sorted, UPI transactions sorted when all of us have to go through KYCs. Nonetheless, I'll request Priya Sehgal, editorial director of NewsX, to kindly come on stage and give away the mementos to our guests. All of them will be getting a copy of India's constitution, because we are here, of course, to mark the 75th anniversary of the adoption of India's constitution. Let's have a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.